Hello, my name is Bruce Neubauer. I am your teacher in HSA520 this summer term. I want to say a few things to you and to let you see who I am and where I'm coming from, so to speak. I've been a college and university professor for about 20 years. I take what I do very seriously. I care about people, I care about my students, and I care very much about the material that I try to teach. I don't do this only because, of a need to be employed and so forth. I do this out of a conviction that knowledge makes a difference in people's lives and that knowledgeable people make a difference in the world. So as we face this together, I want to be a good teacher to each of you. I want you to be a good student to each of me. It's not intended to be an easy course, but I don't ask you to chase rabbits or do trivial things for no good reason. I hope that each of you achieves your goal in pursuing your education, and that this course, directly or indirectly, will become part of your success. There are several things about the first week of this course that I would like to touch on. Let me first begin by saying this. The term paper in this course is substantial, but it's not Mount Everest. Don't wait till the last minute, because you cannot write an installment of this term paper on the night before it's due, or you shouldn't. I don't want to be in a position of having to give you bad grades. I want to give you good grades. And I want you to anticipate what needs to be done and not wait until the last minute and give me sloppy, careless work. I want to see your best. I like sentences that are sentences. I like short, choppy, clear, to the point. If anybody has ever taught you along the way that something is gained by eloquence in the construction of your sentences, forget it, as far as I'm concerned. Forget that the semicolon was ever invented. I like short, choppy, clear sentences that I don't have to try to figure out in order to understand. I'm not trying to be hard, I'm simply trying to communicate my preferences. We use APA, and I want it to be used correctly. You need the current style manual, and do your best to get the citations and the references correct, please, and to otherwise follow the APA conventions. Please do the reading. Please watch the so-called lecture that's available to you. This is my lecture. There's some things I want to mention that are relevant to this material in the first chapter of the textbook. One is the notion of alignment. The alignment is not whether your car goes down the road straight, although that also is alignment. Alignment in this sense is whether the organization, the mission of the organization, what it is trying to do, and its information systems are working in harmony with each other. Of course, in this course, the organization is usually a hospital. I teach public administration, so I don't always refer specifically to hospitals, but in this course, the hospital is probably most frequently the organization that I will be making references to. Have you ever tried to do something with Microsoft Word and you knew what you wanted to do, but Word was fighting you every inch of the way because of its settings that you perhaps did not know how to turn off? I've been there more times than I care to remember, and that is an evidence of a lack of alignment. In other words, what the user is trying to do and what the software is doing should be pulling in the same direction, and the user should not have to be fighting the software in order to do what needs to be done. Now, in terms of organizations and their information systems, ideally, the information system is almost transparent. It simply does what the people in the organization are trying to do in the name of the organization. That's alignment. But sometimes a situation arises in which it is necessary for the organization or for human users to adapt their processes or their behaviors because of the way the software itself is designed in order to achieve alignment. I don't think that is usually a good thing, but sometimes you just have to adapt the organization to the software. Especially if you buy, as a manager, what's called an ERP system, Enterprise Resource Planning. It's a strange acronym, but it should just roll off your tongue and you should be knowledgeable of this term in this course. ERP is a system that is purchased from a company like SAP, which is a German company, and I don't know what SAP stands for in German, but it's a system that does it all. They are costly, they do payroll, they do this, they do that, they do the other thing. It's modular, and sometimes if you are using an ERP system, it's better simply to accommodate the software than it is to try to customize the modules of the software to your own preferences. Customization is expensive and can create bugs in the system. And one of the problems with customization of an ERP system is that if you customize one module of it, as soon as the upgrade of the entire system becomes available, then you have to again pay for the customization of that module and live through finding the bugs that changing part of it may create. So ERPs are neither good nor bad. They simply are. And sometimes organizations choose to buy the entire package, the ERP system, and in those circumstances it's probably better to achieve alignment, not by modifying the software, but by modifying the organization to match the way the software was designed. Generally, I don't think that's a good idea, but sometimes you have to adapt to the software. The book and the lecture that came packaged for you in this course make mention of alignment, ERPs. I would like to introduce stovepipe applications. A stovepipe application is software that does one thing, such as payroll, but is not designed to interact with other pieces of software being used by the same organization. Generally speaking, stovepipes are not good because they sub-optimize from the perspective of the entire organization. But a lot of organizations have a lot of stovepipe applications in them, and that's life. Stovepipe applications are usually cobbled together using what's called middleware, which is basically duct tape, and duct tape solutions, middleware, can also be very expensive to maintain and problematic. The textbook also mentions business process reengineering, which is the design of the process that the organization is performing. Business process reengineering is usually introduced in the context of